The Saikai Taikai tournament is coming. Now is not the time to puss out. You're gonna fight the best in the world.
Do I want to know what that's for?
Training, Rocky IV style. Gonna chop down a tree, carry it through the snow.
Now what could possibly go wrong?
What's up, everyone? Perri Nemiroff here for Rotten Tomatoes. I am lucky enough to be sitting with a group of some of my favorite people on this planet, the cast of Cobra Kai Season 6. Woo! Yeah. I can't believe how much Cobra Kai I've covered, and I'm so grateful for it. I'm going to test you all right now because I'm starting with a big group question. So let's see how we do with this.
God.
For each and every one of you, can you tell me something that you get to do in Season 6 that would make Season 1 you go, I never could imagine the opportunity to do this with my character one day?
Hawk gets to fight a very formidable foe and knock him out in quite the fashion.
Wow.
But Season 1 Hawk would never have thought that.
Season 1 Hawk?
He would
You remember the question?
Eli would never have thought of that. Eli would have been like, what? I knock out an unfathomable foe?
The stunts this season are insane. There's a fight.
That's
all
a good
the time. There's this
Every episode.
The next level.
It's crazy. The amount of fighting that we're doing, the amount of stunts that we're doing, and the amount of physical activity that is happening was absolutely crazy. And I would have never guessed that we would have even been able to pull off this season with the amount of work that everybody had to do. But we did somehow.
Also the amount of cast members. We have grown so much.
Yeah.
Like if you looked at like the row of trailers Season 1 versus the row of trailers for Season 6, everybody's like tripled up on filling up the trailers. Got a lot of people.
So true.
Yeah, I'm excited for the love.
Oh!
The flirt master right here.
Who would have thought, right?
I think those are all solid teases right there. I'll build on the stunts specifically, though. Can you maybe isolate a certain karate like technique or move that you never thought you would have been capable of, but you were able to pull it off in Season 6 of the show?
All of them. All of the moves. I didn't think I'd have to do any of this. Just high kicks.
Your high kicks are wild.
Yeah, they're great.
I noticed that.
why you're my
I noticed that.
Jacob can do a back tuck now.
Oh, I learned how to do a gainer for.
Oh, you did a Oh yeah, you did a
I don't know
the
what it's
gainer
called.
for that one.
Yep.
No, you did a straight up just gainer.
Yep, I learned how to do a gainer.
That was crazy.
Very scared.
What is a gainer?
It's a
Show. Yeah.
Yes, please.
It's a forward moving backflip, right?
Yeah.
Yes, forward moving backflip.
Yeah.
That was a good interpretation, actually.
Right? You saw it?
Yeah, I saw it.
You saw the leg kick out?
And it,
You were sick for every fight.
Every fight this season I was sick.
Yeah.
It's subconscious.
Tanner, what was the thing called that I did where I when I did the kick and then the suicide drop?
I don't know. It was
a
some
suicide drop takedown
Yeah.
something that I had a lot of fun
They
doing.
made up the name, but it was really cool.
I don't know how to
It's a
say this
very
without spoiling anything.
Say that.
Yeah.
I don't envy you all right now.
Basically, you fly through the air sideways and then catch somebody and then take them down that way.
I will say this much. I trained harder this year than in previous, just because as you get younger, it's tougher. And so I think my form and technique was better this season than in previous, and so I'm looking forward to not going, ooh, God, I looked a little sloppy there. So hopefully that pays off.
Never noticed that before. For
Yeah,
what it's
well,
worth.
that's just me. Me being me.
Billy, what you got for us?
Oh, let's see. Well, I trained pretty hard before we went back to film, and I was working on one thing that is going to make it in the movie some point. I don't know which version they're going to use, but it's called the kip up. So there's a move I did in the movie, The Karate Kid, where when LaRusso, I come off my shoulders onto my feet. And so we'll see if that made it in the cut and which version of that made it in the cut.
That's a good tease.
But it
I'll
was
take
very,
that.
Tanner said it though. I mean, the level of physicality that this entire cast had to pull off in the short amount of time was insane. And mostly the senseis are on the sidelines watching these guys carrying the torch. And it's honestly next level. Like we walk away every single day saying, holy crap, this is unimaginable. I mean, some of the fighting sequences these guys do is just like off the
really
charts.
incredible.
Yeah, where it felt like Cirque du Soleil. Cirque du Soleil, and we're like the clowns.
Yeah, we're just we're like the court jesters on the side.
We're the court jesters. Yeah,
There
no,
was
it's
a,
really
there's an element, I think it falls in around episode 9, that it's just
It's
they're
a ballet.
swinging in and
It's
out. It's a ballet.
unbelievable.
It's absolutely, like a trick ballet. It's awesome.
And none of these guys are not, I mean, we all started out not as martial artists. They just write this stuff, and somehow everybody, they write it, and we figure out how to do it. You guys figure out how to do it. It's quite miraculous. I mean, you read it on the page and say, holy crap, how's that going to happen? And then it just challenged everybody to just rise to the occasion and actually doing it.
And the
then
stunt team.
we have
The
stunt guys there
Miraculous
because
stunt team.
they need to have stunt guys per the union contracts, but we can handle it all by ourselves.
Our stunt team does a great job at translating. It's like a bilingual project where they read this thing that is created and then they turn it into something physical and then they teach us how to do it so that it comes back to what it looked like on the page.
Right.
It's so impressive.
Yeah.
Watching your skills just like go from the very beginning to what you're
It's
capable of
really
now
fun.
blows my mind. I'll build on that a little more here. I feel like this is a dangerous question, but when you do things like the high school one or the fight in the LaRusso house, people start to expect you to keep upping the level with these big ensemble fights. So what can you tease
won't be
about how you're going
disappointed.
to up your game in that respect in season 6?
Well, some of it, we introduce, in the first 5 episodes, we introduce some characters from Korea, and they're kind of next level in their martial arts techniques. So it ups the level of all of our, the Miyagi-Dos and going in. So you set the bar super high early on, and it even goes way higher than that once we get into it.
Yeah, it's best of the valley meets the best of the world, and these are like world-class 13-time champion martial artists that came to play, and they're that good, and these guys matched it.
Yeah,
They totally match it.
It's incredible.
It's incredible.
The number of beats that these guys all have to learn, it is just fantastic to watch, but it's thanks to the stunt team for putting all that stuff together and training everybody to be able to do all that.
Okay, so for the six of you, I'm getting a little dangerous again because I believe Ralph teased episode 9. If you could tease a particular fight move in a certain episode that people should look out for that you're really proud of, what episode would it be in? I don't want details, no spoilers, but just to look out for it.
Yeah. We had a really fun in episode 2.
It was a lot of episodes.
Yeah, I think something that I'm so excited about this year, alongside the fighting, is the camera work. We have a DP, Abe, this year, who I think really has taken this last season to a whole new cinematic level, and I think that fight in particular, I think, is one of the earlier boom, like this is different last season.
Okay, can
Victory.
confirm. Anyone else have a favorite fight in a specific episode?
I think you guys had said the episode 9 fight was the one that was kind of like a ballet. There was many of us that had to create, there was a lot of timing things that had to work out and a lot of different beats that we all had to learn. That was a lot. It was a lot, and I don't think we knew how to handle it, but we figured it out somehow.
Yeah, and episode 3 has a great, when I mentioned the Korea kids, Kwon and Yoon, 2 new characters that are introduced in that episode, have a great fight. It's a true classic martial arts fight outside at night, and it really, I think it helps set the standard for what's about to come and what some of these guys have to deal with. So as far as in the first part 1 drop,
it's a good tease,
I'm
too.
a little partial to it myself.
That was beautifully directed, by the way. Who directed
Who directed that episode?
I directed that episode. I gotta cheer on my. No, the kids were amazing. That fight is really.
It looks
great.
great. It's at night in Korea, the torches. It's great. It's great.
I'll answer that question myself, too. Peyton Mary, your fight in episode 5. I won't spoil anything, but I love the marriage of really well-executed stunt work with highly emotional material. So, job very well done. Very well done. All right, let's get into some plot points now. Ralph, Billy, and Yuji, I'm going to throw this question your way because one particular layer that I love digging into this season is learning new things about Mr. Miyagi. So in an effort to tease that here, can you each tell me what is the biggest difference between what your character thinks of Mr. Miyagi at the beginning of Cobra Kai versus how they feel about him in season 6?
Everybody's waiting for the other to begin.
Well, I'll go first.
Go ahead.
To ease off the pressure on you, Ralph, because you have the big answer there. Well, listen, Miyagi-Do and Daniel LaRusso is the farthest thing from his mind. At the beginning of the show, he's all about Cobra Kai, so he has the biggest turn to lean into Miyagi-Do, and he has a lot of respect for Miyagi-Do. At the same time, he still has his Eagle Fang karate dojo that he wants to preserve, but he has to make some decisions, and so he has reverence for Miyagi, but I don't think he's not 100% bought into Miyagi because he wasn't his sensei. But one thing Johnny knows is he doesn't want to be Kreese. So Miyagi looks a lot better than that, and probably thinks off the bat Miyagi isn't flawless, but has no judgment one way or the other about that. Is that a good answer?
I'll take that. I'm also going to circle back to Kreese soon.
No, I think that regarding Chozen and his attitude towards Miyagi after the discovery of all this information, I think it hasn't changed at all, his view on Miyagi, because he's not infallible. He has flaws just like everybody else, and I think for me that humanized him, and for me I think it didn't really affect me in a way that maybe it would have affected Ralph and Billy, but his characters. So for me it was not really any different, because like in life we all have our flaws, and you accept those flaws just like Chozen had his flaws. And through the discovery of what had transpired with Miyagi, there's a lot to unpack, and I look at him and I said, look, he's just like me then.
Yeah, I mean, I think, that's an interesting perspective, because for Chozen, that makes total sense. He's gone from the villain of the first sequel to, a beloved character in this series. So he kind of looks at it from that perspective. For Daniel, for LaRusso finding all this stuff and not having the answers, it's really a nice arc in this season where you question, you don't have the ability to get the truth because you don't have the person there. So then you wind up going down this spiral of trying to understand it, and all of a sudden he goes off balance and off his axis, and that creates good drama, it creates conflict, it creates internal conflict. But he has to get to a point where he lets go and is at peace with it, that we all have flaws, we all have things. It's just a concept from LaRusso's perspective that he never told him about it. So when you feel you have that kind of trust, and yet it's that, but then you also amplify it in your own mind. And I think that's what Daniel LaRusso does when he gets more and more information that maybe leads to an unflattering past, but it also helps him come to grips and to peace with going forward. And what these guys who write this show do so well, then it informs Daniel to Samantha, and it pays off in that way, and to Johnny Lawrence and everything else. And that's when the writing really, really delivers. So I'm excited for that arc this season, and it's a great way to keep Miyagi in the show. We've done a really good job of never letting go of that, and I'm super proud of it.
Job really well done giving meaty teases without spoiling any specific details. I'm going to come back to Kreese now. Peyton and Billy, I'll throw this question your way because it does feel like your characters are maybe closest to him over the course of the show. So they've been through a lot together. Is there anything about what they fear Kreese is capable of in season 6 that ups their concern about his potential reintroduction?
You're on.
You're on.
Go. I'll tell you, I love Tori and Kreese and this relationship that's happened in the show. I adore it. It's like, he's kind of it really mirrors the Johnny Kreese relationship and the father-daughter of it almost, and father-son of it as most. She's on a different end of it. She's wise to him quicker and not so ready to take him back. Johnny's got a longer history of being burned and burned and burned again, where Kreese even took Cobra Kai away from him, and he's just completely disillusioned with who Kreese is and wants nothing to do with him ever again. But Tori also you have such a great story, and you did such a great job with what happens to your character and why and where she leans, and how Kreese is a source of something else maybe for you. But I love that relationship that you have, and it brings out something in Kreese that we don't get to see often. To see a real nurturing paternal side of him that you don't know if you can quite trust, but it's earnest at least, and that's what gets your eye, I think. So I don't know, that's my opinion, but I really love the mirror of Johnny and Kreese, and the triangle really of Tori and Kreese. It's very similar, but different.
I'm a big fan of that as well. Anything you want to add, Peyton? Do I dare ask?
No.
Come on,
Yeah,
Come on,
Peyton.
I feel for you all right now. There are so many details that I'm bursting at the seams to talk about. Soon. Spoilers soon, always. Tanner and Xolo, I'll come to you next because it has taken nearly this entire show for these two to smooth things out. So can you each tell me something your character gains from the other character by having a friendship together at the start of season 6?
I feel like your character's always got good insight to what is right and what's wrong. Robbie is a little bit quick to kind of react to a lot of different situations and maybe not in the best way. And I feel like he's, even through, like we've talked about today, like the season 2 fight where I'd kick you off the balcony, it was a little quick to react, and maybe that wasn't the best decision. But I feel like Miguel makes a lot more informed decisions because he looks at everything from all sides, and Robbie is trying to kind of pick up on those attributes that he has because it's something that is very nice about Miguel.
Thank you. Thank you. I 100% agree. I think especially this year or this season, the boys are getting close as ever. And what I noticed getting to film this year is that it really feels like Tanner, Robbie, like your ability and your fighting ability, like this really big core aspect of our show, has really kind of helped level up all of the other characters in Miyagi-Do as well. And I think with the way the dominoes fall this year, that dynamic, especially between Miguel and Robbie, is really fun for me to play because it's been different. We've been separated for a lot of these years. First year barely had any scenes together. Second year maybe had some scenes. So now being in a lot of scenes together and really getting to like brothers, like friends would, right? Getting to work out the kinks has been really fun.
It's one of the most satisfying things for a longtime fan, too. I love seeing you all come together, and I love the big ensemble scenes. A somewhat similar but slightly different question for you, Mary and Peyton, because they're like somewhat in a similar position in their friendship. They start to smooth things out at the end of season 5. So to twist that a little for you, is there anything you think your character would have to gain from having a true friendship with the other, finally?
Feel like, and we'll get to kind of see them hopefully figure this out throughout 6, but because I feel like where they left off at the end of 5 is more like begrudging, not friends but not foes, like somewhere in the middle, but with a common enemy. And I think that luckily is like a core aspect of something that can help drive them forward. But I think that just from the outside perspective, looking at who Tori is and what I hope Sam could gain from her, would be, Sam has, I feel like she puts her whole heart into everything that she does, but she lets her heart lead sometimes in such a way that there's a lot of repercussions, and I think Tori maybe holds her heart back a lot more significantly than Sam does, but I think there's a balance, ironically, somewhere in the middle that Sam could gain from Tori's perspective, her life experience, just having a different upbringing and a different perspective on life, and then and also, her fighting, their styles are very different, so I think there's like a cool aspect to kind of what you were saying about Robbie and Miguel, like that there's an aspect to that being another part of our dialogue that we have with each other that becomes like a different conversation we can have together.
Beautiful way to describe that. How about for you, Peyton?
Mm-hmm. I feel like there's a lot of technique in the Miyagi-Do space and in Miyagi-Do karate, and just even learning katas and control and balance is something that's really, really helpful for Tori. I feel like she has all this raw talent, but she doesn't have as much of the fine technique. Yeah, and also just Sam letting her know, like, it's okay to be supported by people. Like, I've been supported by my family, and it's okay to be here and like let these people in. And that's something that Tori can't even fathom. Like, the fact that Sam would even forgive Tori for everything that she's done is absolutely overwhelming. And like, just the LaRussos in bringing her into the space after everything she's done is just insane. Like having love like that is something Tori's never experienced, really.
This dynamic is one of my favorites. Yet another favorite, Gianni and Jacob. The binary brothers have had their ups and downs, their separations. They come back together. That continues in season 6. To tease that again, what would you say is the biggest difference between what they think it means to be a binary brother in season 1 versus season 6?
Ooh.
I mean, it was pretty cut and dry all the way in season 1. They only had each other. And it's like,
Now we have options.
yeah, now we have other options. We have things we can do.
That can exist without you.
My guy cannot.
My guy.
He does not handle rejection very well at all. He harps.
He's a harper.
He's a harper, man. Yeah, I don't know. What does it take to be a binary bro? I mean, yeah, we have our ups and downs. Get the definition. Yeah, we have our ups and downs, like, you know, any other friendship. Maybe a little bit more violent than others.
I think I would view it this way. I feel like Dimitri and Eli were young high school lovers and only knew each other, and then they had a really rough breakup, and they, you know, dated other people, got some life experience, and they came back, and now they're like, wait, what we had truly was special, and we've gained a lot of experience through being broken up.
Really great makeup sex.
What? What? Yo, Billy did not like that. Billy did not like that joke.
I don't know about that.
Sorry, spoilers.
I feel like the comparison was kind of
It was
appropriate.
pretty good.
It was pretty good.
It was well done. I
Think you did, Billy?
think it was a perfect analogy.
Would you like to sit next to each other?
I feel like there's no good segue from that to literally
Yeah.
anything. Let's
go to a
talk
commercial.
about the Saikai Taikai. For the 6 of you, I want to know
Speaking of makeup sex.
what is your character's greatest strength and greatest weakness going into the competition?
I think Sam's greatest strength is that she has like kind of almost, I don't know, it's funny that like the same thing Peyton was saying about I guess Sam's like relationship with her parents and like the like having something to fall back on and like letting herself lead into that. Like I feel like she has the lineage of Miyagi-Do to like lean back on, having known Mr. Miyagi in her life, having her dad be such a crucial and central pillar of self-esteem in her life, and then now having chosen as well as another like connection to her life with her like young childhood of learning karate with Mr. Miyagi. So I feel like she has this like this true like very strong belief system to come back to when she gets lost in the storm. But I do think that on the other side of the coin, her weakness maybe is that she kind of, you know, she dabbled in Johnny's Eagle Fang for a second there, and she learned from it. I appreciate it. She learned.
Tornado against the watermelon was impressive.
But I think that it is a little bit of the like, you know, hopefully that weakness gets rectified to an extent of exposure to new styles. But she kind of has lived in her own little world with karate, and it's maybe she needs to open those doors and be a little more open to other perspectives.
I could see that. Who wants to jump in next?
Johnny's greatest strength going into the tournament is his son. And his weakness is the binary brothers. Other than that, there's the strength right here. That question wasn't for the senseis, was it?
I mean, not really, but I'll take that.
I'll take that.
Tanner, what do you think?
I definitely know greatest weakness for Robbie is clouded judgment because of heightened emotions. His greatest strength, I don't think he's found it yet. I don't know what it is, but I can definitely pick out his weakness of what, you know, he needs to work on within kind of the tournament and fighting space.
Robbie's got a good heart.
Robbie's got
Chip
the
off your old
fire.
block.
He's got the fire.
He does have the fire, bro.
I will say when his strength is when he's determined and he is focused, I feel like he's pretty unstoppable.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Robbie has the fire, bro.
Who certainly has many strengths. Who's up next?
Tori's strength is also her weakness, which I think is to be really impulsive.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Her greatest strength is her weakness.
Dun dun dun.
Go.
Cares too much.
She's also got the fire.
They all do. They all have the fire at this
You
point.
got the fire, bro.
And I've got the fire.
For biggest weakness, I think Miguel has this season maybe let the pressures of high school get to him a bit. Like I'm exploring a lot this year, like going back to, you know, college applications and the feeling of being a senior in high school and how that agitation kind of can permeate other areas of your life. I think that's kind of one of the weaknesses going into the Sekai Taikai. Similar to maybe Robbie is maybe overly emotional, very quick to react. A strength, I like to think that Miguel in these times can be a bit of someone to rally the troops. There was moments definitely that I think all of us kind of stepped up to the plate to do just that, and it's been all
Solid stuff. All right, Gianni, Jacob, you want to take us home on this?
Yeah, I mean, this season without.
Yeah, Hawk's biggest strength.
No, speak on it.
His biggest strength is just his power and speed.
Oh my lord.
And a weakness?
Weakness?
That he talks about.
I'm
his
lost. No. His weakness is probably. I think Hawk when.
This is not a bit. You can't think of a weakness.
I got one.
This is not a
He's
bit.
struggling.
When he gets riled up, I think he acts when he's emotional.
His back tattoo really itches sometimes.
Yeah.
He avoids conflict too much.
What are you talking about? He beats everyone up.
Yeah, but that's when he's angry.
Oh, okay.
That's not common. He avoids dealing with the
Oh, yeah.
He involves himself in
Emotional
conflict. He just doesn't fix anything.
Yeah.
Hawk is
We'll
not.
tell you all your weaknesses.
Peyton's
Hawk is very
really pull up the
self-aware, but
list.
will not fix anything. That's Hawk's problem. He's mastered the first step. Cannot do the second. It's not. I don't know that.
Okay. I would say that Dimitri's weakness this season, without spoiling anything, is he's really got to prove himself. He goes on this whole thing of like, I don't need my binary bro. You know, we're broken. Okay, without spoilers.
No, that's in the first 5.
Yeah, that's
In the first 5.
Oh God.
Before.
Okay.
Whatever. That's what we have editors for.
Macchio said whatever. You're good.
Whatever Macchio says, I
Boston
do.
said it's good.
He says jump, and I say where.
That's it.
Off where?
Off where. Yeah, he's just trying to prove himself, and so he kind of gets caught up in that, and it, bites him in the butt later on. We'll see how. I don't know. What? And then his strength? I'll get back to you on that.
High kicks.
I think your biggest weakness is each other.
Yeah.
That's your biggest weakness is each other, but it's also your biggest strength. So how's this
Ooh,
gonna?
I like that answer.
Did you like that answer?
I
So
do
did
like
the
that
sirens.
answer.
It felt like I hit it out of the park.
I feel like that should have happened when someone said a
true. They
spoiler.
are each other's strength and each other's weakness. Like,
I think we should
you guys have
do this
evolved
again.
into more, you're badasses. But at the core, you're these boys that had a dream together, and that dream was interrupted by Johnny Lawrence and Daniel Rosa, and ruining your. We've completely come in between you, but we've empowered you at the same time. And that's caused you to spin a little bit out of control and blow some things up, and hopefully you guys will make up and come back together. But we won't know until the end. won't we?
Wow.
I'll end on one more silly question here, again for the 6 of you, because graduation is right around the corner for them. Let's say you could flash forward 10 years, and they're all getting back together for their high school reunion. What might they look like? What might their vibe be like? What are they up to? What ideas do you have?
I would love to see that episode, by the way.
Like
And the
Lenny
brawl
Kravitz
that takes place.
at the 10-year reunion.
You're saying Hawk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Dating an older flame.
What? Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I had nothing for
Hawk and
myself.
Cougar.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to not forget the fact that Sam was also like a science geek and like loved science when we met her. I think she's kept that up along with her karate studies.
Cutting
so
up
I
pigs.
think she's shut up. No, I think she's. I like to imagine that she is off studying like
Pigs?
biology, animals, like nature somewhere cool in the world, and like hopefully, in my opinion, somewhere close to Okinawa. And she's keeping up with her karate, and she comes back to the reunion with that.
Oh, we'll believe that.
Dimitri would just be like every tech bro in Silicon Valley. Just,
Is he wearing like the turtleneck?
Yeah, he'll wear like that big like black turtleneck. Just he made it. He's just full facial reconstruction surgery. Yeah, man. Yeah, he's
In 10 years?
Yeah, he's a billionaire. He doesn't care.
Whoa. Robbie's a billionaire.
Okay, you keep saying this. How is Robbie a billionaire?
Huh?
What is the thing that makes?
I know. I've gone from millionaire to billionaire now, and I don't know how I've gotten there, but I'm
He's gonna be
going
trillionaire when you ask him next time.
The dojo empire transfers to Robbie,
Yes.
and he continues to turn it into a thriving business. I also think that Dimitri is like Sandy and Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion, and he is the coolest person at it.
Oh.